Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Open Line. We are talking with Robert Sherrill. He's an entrepreneur. He's a youth advocate. He's had a remarkable life that we've kind of gone over in the first segment. And I want to get into your background again. You talked about what you went through as a kid, and kind of one setback tragedy after another. What can your background, what can kids take away from that that would keep them maybe out of the juvenile justice system, and what can elected officials take away from that that would help us as a community keep kids out of the juvenile justice system?
I think it's going into the schools, going into the juvenile facilities, and making sure that our staff members and everyone that our kids see throughout the day are trauma informed, being preventative on the front end, and relatability is key. I look like the kids, but I'm a successful businessman too. So they listen to me because I'm relatable to them. And it's important to put mentors and people in front of the kids that look like them. It's kind of, hard for me to trust someone that doesn't look like me, and for people to expect me to pour out my problems and be upfront about really what's going on in my life. So I think that's another point. In terms of elected officials, I think that they need to listen and fund the grassroots organizations. I'm boots on the ground. I'm the first to the problem. I'm the first one in. I'm teaching gun class. I'm on the foster care review board of Juvenile. I'm in the Tennessee Women's Prison. But I don't get a lot of funding. I've yet to receive anything from the city, but nonetheless, I still push on because I believe in our community. I believe in these kids that are like written off, and they know the community is kind of giving up on them. And we need to instill hope back into the hearts of our kids and let them know, despite mistakes that you've made, we believe in you. And I truly believe that our kids are good kids. A lot of them been through a lot of trauma. A lot of them come from single family households. A lot of them, the only thing they've ever seen is tragedy and heartache and poverty. So how do you expect that person to be successful unless you aid them in that?
And with your situation, you had these tragedies, kicked out of your house, divorce, these tragedies. And then you get into the juvenile justice system, and you said you had a couple of run-ins, but it didn't resonate. And I think that's the question our community is grappling with. We're seeing kids go in, come back out, it's not resonating. What do we need to do to make a difference, maybe that first or second time they're in the system, so they don't keep going back and back and back?
I know I'm gonna get a lot of blowback for this, but hey, I take the shots. The juvenile justice system has become so laxed. Dealing with DCS and all the politics that go into that. I mean, and again, these for-profit companies that run our systems, you can't discipline the kids these days. Back when I was going to juvenile, you didn't play with them. They would mace you, they would restrain you, and I understand the big push about solitary confinement, but some of these kids are doing heinous things behind those walls, and some of them need to go and be separated, because if you keep them around another group, they're going to continue to be disruptive. Juvenile it's real lax these days, and I just think that they need to get back to an approach of disciplining the kids so they can understand the consequences of their actions.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So we need maybe a little harsher discipline up front.
Most definitely.
And that would be the system needs the authority, the ability to do that.
Exactly. As well as, the staff. We're in the city with 2.2% unemployment, and so it's hard to find good people to come in and deal with the type of kids that's in juvenile every day. It's not easy working in juvenile. The kids are cussing. They're very disrespectful. They're doing a lot. I mean, a lot of different things. And so you got to find a certain type of person to deal with those children, you know, and I think that's important as well.
So if I'm an elected official and I'm watching and I'm go, okay, aha, he's saying we need to just be harsher, let's, you know, there are plenty of people out there that say let's lock them up, you know, they're terrorizing our community, let's, you know, throw away the key or whatever the case may be. What do you say if that's the interpretation people take?
Well, yeah, I would say I wouldn't.
Don't go that far.
Yeah, don't go that far, because I've been watching and the stories being covered lately with the escapes and things of that nature. And to go and look at the comments from people in the community, it's heartbreaking. They're kids,
right.
And you got people on there talking about shoot them in the head, take them outside, deal with them, and they're just children. They're not psychologically developed enough to even make sound decisions. A lot of them are culturally, you know, bound. You know, we live in a culture where rap music and violence and gangs and drugs is looked upon as a good thing, and so we have to deconstruct that thinking, you know, and instill in them proper thinking, and taking them outside or throwing away the key won't do that. Some of these kids, like myself, I was that child, and I got out, and it took a while, but finally it resonated with me, and I was able to come out and be a productive member of society. And not only that, but to strengthen my community instead of hurt and take away from my community. So I'm saying with inside the walls, there needs to be more structure, and because the therapeutic approach is just not working.
Right. So more structure, you feel like, inside. And then what about some of just the systemic issues that need to be dealt with? How would you identify them? Are they the same? Are we facing some of the same problems we faced back when you were a kid? Is it worse now? Better now? You know, where do you think we are?
I would say it's worse now, because we didn't have Instagram and Facebook back. We had MySpace. All right. And so kids are desensitized to crime and murder and tragedy because you can see it all day, every day. So when you can see a dead body anytime you want, you become desensitized to the effects of someone losing a loved one and how that may affect you. You become calloused, you know, and so you can go and commit a crime and feel and have no feeling about it, you know. And so that's changed. The culture, what we accept as a community has changed. This has been going on. The broken system has been broken ever since they invented it. But now that people that are of color and people that are white and black and brown are getting, you know, committing crimes, and people are dying in communities that are being gentrified, and a certain demographic of people are affected now. Now everybody wants to, you know, have an issue with it, and so I'm really confused as to how all of a sudden everybody wants to talk about the system and talk about the kids when the system's been broken.
Somebody said on this show, I feel like the system's not broken, the system's doing exactly what it's designed to do. And it's built in a way that doesn't work, and we need to kind of deconstruct it. The system's working as we've built it, and that's the problem. All right, we have several calls. Let's go to Carlos. Hello, Carlos.
Go
right ahead.
Yeah, officers are listening to everything. You know, for one, you know, it's a broken system. Of course, we know that. But you know, I'm looking at it too. If they hadn't took out some of the criteria like prayer in school, people have lost their morals. Like you said, they look at Facebook, they see all the murder, they desensitized to what's really going on as far as the crime. I'm figuring, you know, if we can get enough role models, let's say for instance, you know, you got $500,000 homes across the street from the projects. Okay, these people are being oppressed in a way. They feel like they're hopeless, and not only that they're hopeless, they're looking at the people across the streets, which typically in the near future the people that's living in these $500,000 homes going to be victims of these people. You know, I'm blessed myself. I came through a background. I went through the juvenile system. I committed crimes, but now I'm an outstanding citizen. I work hard for a living, but yet it's so hard to live here in Nashville. You know, it's basically hard. You got to work basically 3 jobs to pay your bills. You know, it's ridiculous here, and you know, don't nobody care. The people at the top. And one issue is too, I've lost so many jobs due for no reason at all. I've looked at the fact, you know, we got a work industry saying it's a free to fire, free to hire state, and then also they say it's a equal opportunity. Those 2 phrases doesn't even fit in the same category, because I've been a victim of just going in my job. People don't like me because of the color of my skin, and I was terminated for no reason. You know, when I go home to my children, I'm telling them, hey, I got fired, because they ask me what's going on. I don't even know. You know.
All right, I'm very glad you're sharing that. Do you have a question? I want to, because there are other people calling. Thank you for sharing what you're sharing. Do you want to ask a question?
Yes. What is you know, this guy on the phone, he's been working in the system, but yet and still, what targets are we using? Yes, to turn the kids around, basically. Because you know,
okay.
Like I'm saying, that when it affects the parents, it affects the kids too, basically.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Carlos. Thanks for sharing that. What do you think there?
So, I mean, there are a lot of programs out here, a lot, and now that it's a cool hashtag to be a mentor and start a nonprofit, you have an array of different organizations. So, you know, and a lot of them are effective, a lot of them are not. But mentoring, being on the front line, starting early. You know, a lot of people say in high school, I'm in elementary schools. You wouldn't believe some of the stories and the things that I encounter in elementary schools. Just trying to show the kids that it's more to life than what you see and what your current situation is. And just, I've become a steward of my experience. That's what my pastor said. And so I just use everything that I've been through to try to affect change as much as possible. I wish it wasn't a great answer that I could give. And no one can, because it's so far gone and it's so deep rooted that all we can do right now is cut the tops off the roof, because they're going to keep growing. We just got to keep them low enough and manage it.
So with all you've been through, all you've seen, I mean, what you just said is so deep-rooted. You said so far gone. Are you optimistic about the future, or where do you think we are in 10 years? Let's say a lot of people heed what you're talking about. Is it too far gone? I mean, how optimistic are you about where we're going to be in 10 years or 20 years?
Only Robert Sherrill can say this. It's going to get worse. We're dealing with a system, like I said, that has been broken since it begun. Everyone knows it's broken. You got you make profit over here by locking me up, but so you got the prosecutor and the officers trolling the neighborhoods, locking people up, and then the people that they sending us to are making profit off of us. So in essence, it's beneficial to both parties to keep people in prison. So if that's the equation, how can I be optimistic? I can never be optimistic with that.
And why do you say only you can say that?
Because I'm a rebel. I've been one since I was 13. I mean, you know, a lot of people, you know, got political ambitions, and you know, they got the suits, and a lot of their constituents are in the mix of all of this system this broken system we're talking about, and I just don't think that they have what it takes to stand up and and tell the hard truths. And so I'm thankful to God that I'm here, because I'm here to tell it like it is.
And I think we are at a point where people see it's bad, and we're talking about it, and
but it's still surface. It's still surface.
We want to change things. And so what you're saying, I mean, at one point you're saying mentor, and that's great, and we've heard that a lot. It goes bigger
deeper than that.
And it's about, I guess, when you say changing the system, we have to go to break, but I want to, what do you mean by that again? You're changing a whole system that profits off everything. I mean, I guess try and encapsulate what you mean exactly by that.
Okay. You want a break?
No, go ahead. We'll wait on the break. You can do that.
I mean, everything has to be deconstructed. I mean, nothing is off limits. The juvenile system, the adult system, the way you sentence, the mandatory minimums, the care inside the facility, the way you lock people up, where you send them, the way you house them, all of that plays into this equation. Because I can go in prison and be a regular guy and come out a hardened criminal because of the conditions that I've had to endure. It is brutal in prison. You go to prison, you become worse. Your network expands. You become a better criminal. All of this is the perfect storm for what we're dealing with today. And everyone has a surface answer. Because why would I want to fix something that makes me money? I'm not going to do it.
Do you think we get to the point where that does happen? Do you think we're getting closer to that point or not?
It's too many people. It's too many people that have their hand in a cookie jar. Think about it. TrueCore, so to speak. Look at all these different for-profit agencies that house our youth, right? You all, look who's at the top. Look who owns them. They're representatives. They're state elected officials that own these for-profit prisons for young men. We got the people that we're electing to change the dynamics of the city involved in this perpetual cycle of locking young men up. We can't win.
All right, we do have to take a break. It's fascinating to talk to you. We're going to try and we'll dig down even deeper.
Let's do it.
Hopefully find something positive, but we'll dig down into even deeper. If you want to call in, there's the number, 615-737+. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.